Afternoon, everybody. Man, look, so we're going to change up things a bit. Everything focused on AI, agentic, services, businesses. How do we actually expand out? So we're going to turn things around a bit, talk about the resilience factor. So let's just play forward. You, a year, 2 years down the line, agentic AI is part of your environments. Data's in, data's everywhere, cloud, on-prem. What is the first thing that we need to do? And that's the resilience part. So Zaheer Haniff, I'm part of the Dell Technologies team for South Africa and SADC. We specialize around cyber resilience and data protection, specifically across all sectors. I come from an FSI background, 17 years in FSI specific around data protection. So it's a key factor of where we see data and where we're evolving to. So I'm going to go straight into it when we talk about data protection or backup around my data. So AI is in the front, it's in cloud, it's on premise. Is backup enough for where we're going to, where we're actually moving towards? It's not going to be enough. And today you would have teams that are looking very much around BCP. So you have this within your data center structure. High availability, disaster recovery. And this is very much your day-to-day operations, your day-to operations. How do we bring our data back? How do we restore it back? How do we test our DR capabilities and failover? Now let's talk about resilience. The key factor around cyber attacks and what we actually are deemed to our customers, right? We're all client interfacing, so we have to ensure that we can hold our reputational damage and we can ensure that there's no reputational loss. So cyber resilience, if you look to the far left-hand side, there's a huge part around how fast can we get our data back, what are those key critical applications, and what is key to our organization and how fast can we get it back? It needs to be clean data. So we ask ourselves, risk versus reward or risk versus recovery aspects or rebuild. How fast can we recover? How far has the infection actually spread? And how long will it take us to recover back? So we got different levels of management, C-level all the way to technical decision makers. This is the type of discussion that we have to have with all our peers that we work in organizations. Fragmented data is going to be the way that we're going forward. We're going to have large data volumes, you have data reservoirs, data lakes. We're looking at AI modules sitting in cloud and on-premise. So we have to be able to be agile enough to make sure that we have the right processes and protocols in place. So if you look to the top layer, this is where we are today, and you would have some sort of immutability. You would have basic backup or data protection. But like we said, backup is not enough. You might have virtual replication. You'll have storage snaps. You'll have large volumes move from one center to another or cloud. And we need to bring ourselves more closer down to securing a recovery vault. And what does a recovery vault mean? And what does this stand in financial from a SAP perspective? We actually look at keeping an offline data center within your data center. That can be cloud, on-prem, multi-cloud, or hybrid solution. So when we look at the maturity level, you want to be down to the left-hand corner, making sure that you have your processes in place. I met a few of the guys earlier on today, and all of them came to us and saying, Dell is a hardware company. And I said, this solution that we talk about is 90% around services. It's more around understanding what you need to achieve as an organization. How do we bring this together? If we look at FSI insurance, we talk about core applications. We talk about payments. We talk about digitization channels. And we speak about fraud or trading. How do we ensure that these services, not application and not backup, we talk services, how do we restart these services in a real life scenario? You have to ensure that the data is immutable. You have to ensure that the data is recoverable and we're able to rebuild if a cyber attack occurs. So what does it look like? If you look to the bottom left-hand side of the screen, you would have this data center set up in cloud or on-premise. You would have a data center where you either in shared location, and you want to have where the red block is That's your security vault. In that security vault, you would have data protection copies, you'll have your storage copies, but we'll apply analytics to it. Imagine having a fast way of knowing that last night an attack happened, but I actually know my data is clean. It reduces that exposure that we have within the organization, and we reduce the framework of being exposed at the access point. Data governance, data sovereignty is a key player that we're speaking about in South Africa at the moment. We speak about three straight pillars. The one would be operations, the governance and identity, and the data pane. Now imagine having in that red block where we put all your critical data and we control it, and we don't mind what technology you have today. We adapt to that, those technologies, and we build your processes around it. We build with inside these SEC vaults. We're able to go out, maybe cloud, maybe a share location or data center, bring that data sets in, and when we close behind it, none of our access points is available to the online network. Once that is out there, we can control whatever occurs within inside our vault. When the time comes, forensics divisions or incident management response, they will be able to ask us for our runbooks or processes with the teams that we work with. And this breaks out into the design phase. I've got 3 minutes left, so I want to just maybe touch base on the left on what you can take back from this. Number one, backup is no more a requirement. It's not a business objective. You have to look at how do we build processes around services to restart the critical services in our organization. And then we need to build business continuity to ensure that we can bring that data back up systematically to avoid risk, to avoid reputational damage, and ensuring that we bring the data up as soon as possible. So how do we do it in the 5 different ways? We do a pre-work session. That can be done with Deloitte, Accenture, KPMG, with Dell themselves, and we can work with all the providers that you have today. Once we go through the pre-work, we're actually able to design, deliver, and scale this organization to what you require. And this is the mobility of where you're moving today. It can be cloud, it can be on-prem, and it can be multi-cloud. Please, if you have any questions, the team is actually outside. If you have any questions further around how do we achieve this, what are we doing specifically in FSI, please come to us and we're happy to assist. Thank you.